Hi everyone, I'm Paolo Presta and I'm the host of A Spoonful of Paolo, and I am going places with RICC Rollins, and I want you guys to come along.
This is Going Places. Interesting people doing interesting things in interesting places, and we want you to come along. Welcome to this edition of Going Places. Thanks a lot, Paolo. I hope your morning's amazing, all half hour long. My hero, Paolo Presta, is with us, and we're going to talk about everything from Oprah making his wildest dreams come true to who he wants to interview and everything in between. All of this on this edition of Going Places, starting, you guessed it, right now. I remember a day I was sitting at my house watching the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she had decided in this season that she was going to do Wildest Dreams Come True. And she began to set up the story, and then the video rolled, and Oprah walks into a family-owned business, and she starts calling one name, Paolo, Paolo. The look on his face in that moment was priceless. But what ensued after that is still a part of television history. And today, it's my full circle moment because I have Paolo Presta with us. Hey, Paolo, how you doing?
I am good, Rick. How are you doing?
All right. Thank you for your patience with us today. You know, we're a little TV show that could. Let's go back to that day. You are minding your business. As you said, you're doing the labels, you're doing your morning routine, and you hear someone calling your name. And the look on your face is like, what do they want now? But then around the corner comes the Oprah Winfrey. You take it from there.
I mean, I'll never forget. It was a Thursday morning, and I was putting in pasta labels, and and then I was just, it was one of those mornings. I remember I had like this big pimple on my nose. I wasn't feeling good that day, and then it was like around 9 a.m., 9:30, and then I heard my name, and then I turned around, I stood up, and I was at the customer service desk, and then there she was, Oprah Winfrey herself. And I'll just never forget that morning. And I was just like, what is happening? What is she doing here? And there were people there, I just remember people around her. But something inside of me told me this is going to be life-changing because she's not going to come to the suburbs for nothing. And here she is herself inside my dad's grocery store. And that morning, like, I'll just never forget it. It changed the whole direction of my life.
For those of you that didn't see it, and we will roll it for you, this was you writing Oprah. See, let me tell you a secret. Paula, I wrote her when I first started doing television. I was doing the RICC Rollins show on public access TV, but I wrote her and told her about what I was doing. And I got a simple letter back that said, Rick, best wishes in all that you do. I believe in you. Oprah, that's all I needed. That's all I ever needed was that letter. And unfortunately, the letter got lost in a move, and along with a bunch of other stuff. And that hurts me to this day. But I wrote her again, because let me say this was before email. And so it was handwritten letters. And I wrote her about 20 letters. And I was like, I kept telling somebody, I wonder if I'm on the don't ever let this guy in the studio don't let him in the studio list. And then she said, you don't have to write me anymore. You don't have to email me anymore, Paolo. And I was like, I could understand it in that moment. I was like, well, maybe I should have kept going, but that moment, I thought that was one of the funniest moments. She's like, you don't have to do it anymore because I'm here. Yeah. And so you get this role on a Walk On in Will and Grace. And then people said, wait a minute. If Oprah likes Paolo, we need to pay attention to Paolo. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I mean, the way I was treated on the set of Will and Grace. I mean, obviously I watched the show every Thursday night, and so to be on the set and then have the entire cast and the crew and the executive producers, I mean, they were so kind to me, and they didn't know who I was. I mean, yeah, they saw my reaction, of what Oprah, when she came to my dad's grocery store. But I mean, they knew that I was there because of Oprah Winfrey. So the way they treated me, with so much love and heart, and they gave me so many tips, because it's my first time on a stage that's on national TV, and was just mind blowing. And it's like I can never forget that day because the entire cast and crew were so kind to me and gave me such wonderful tips.
So I'm still trying to get over the fact that Oprah says, let's, you do it. People see that, but you know what, Paolo, I can tell you what it was. I was getting ready to say, what do you think it was? And I think, yes, the Oprah factor is one thing, but what America loved was, I mean, they love a good come up story. And in that moment, you got your wildest dreams to come true. And Oprah, the fairy godmother of us all, was there to help. But I think that what people loved about you was that you were genuine and you just wanted the opportunity. And I think that that's what people see that they saw in you and they see in you, and everybody wants to feed into that. When I wrote you that day, it was amazing because you just popped up. You popped up out of nowhere. And I said, you know what? I need to do this. And in 15 minutes, you said yes. Now that meant a lot to me. And so we're gonna spend the whole show with Paolo. So don't you go anywhere. Paolo, what I want you to think about when we come back is how that moment changed your life. We know, we have an idea, but I want to talk to you about how it changed your life and how it's still changing your life all these years later. I want you to think about that. More Going Places when we come back right after this. Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. I'm having one of my wildest dreams come true today. I get a chance to talk to the award-winning talk show host, Paolo Presta. Paolo, like I told you in my note, my mother and I watched that Oprah Winfrey show that day. You're a mama's boy like I'm a mama's boy. And both of us have joined a fraternity that neither one of us want to be a member of. We both lost our moms, our biggest cheerleaders. But what did your mom think about, I know we said we were going to go somewhere else and we're going to get there, but what did your mom think about her boy, her baby, now getting a chance to walk in that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Okay, so first I want to say about the email when you sent me. I want to thank you because it was really a kind email when you a message that you reached out to me inviting me to be on your show. So I want to thank because the words you wrote on there, I even read it out loud to my husband and I said, I don't know who this person is, but the words that you wrote to me, I just felt it. You were so kind and and that's what made me say yes to being a guest on your show. So thank you for those kind words. And now regarding my mom, I think, look, I have 6 siblings and I think for me, we're all special to her, but I think I was a little bit extra special because of just being my authentic self. Yes. And my mother saw the struggles that I had growing up with so many challenges. Mm-hmm. So I think for her seeing me live my dream and coming and fighting to get to where I am today, she saw that. So I'm just grateful to her because I have a lot of my mother in me. She's my heart. She's my everything. And she was my biggest fan. Every interview that I continue to do for our web show, her Oprah Winfrey coming to my dad's store, my mother was there. She didn't know what was going to happen that morning, but she was there with the family. And when she saw Oprah made my dream come true, my mother just was just so proud of me, so happy for me. And then of course she was on the phone calling everyone in Italy, telling everyone what happened, because we all know who Oprah Winfrey is, even in Europe.
Internationally, yes.
Yeah, so it was life-changing, and I miss her deeply, but I carry her with me every single day, and I know, and I'll never forget how proud she was of me and still is.
In that moment, and I had not thought about this until now, I would give anything for my mother to see this, because we talked about you many times after. And every time I would find something and you were doing something, I'd be like, Mom, Paolo's, and she would stop what she was doing and come and sit and watch, because you were a reminder of what was possible. And she wanted that for me. And by that time, I think I had gotten to where I was doing television on one of the regular stations here. And she was like, what do you want? Well, you know, if it happened for him, it will happen for you. And in this moment, that was something that I just thought about, that I would like to believe that they are in heaven watching us together today, Paolo, and saying, our boys they're living their wildest dreams. I just thought about that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that thought just kind of came to mind. So, like I said, because I don't want to start crying, I want you to cry because we both cry easily. So, I asked you how it started, the Oprah effect changed your life, and how it is continuing to change your life.
That day was a reminder that if you have a dream and that is really your dream and you're aligned with it,
Yeah.
anything is possible. And if you do the work, it's going to happen.
Yes.
Maybe not at that moment, maybe not when you want it to happen, but it will happen if you truly want it, and that is your dream. I've lived my life by that. I mean, when you were talking about writing that letter to Oprah Winfrey, I thought about me being in my bedroom in Glenview, Illinois, and my siblings walking in, you know, watching me like, you're writing another letter to Oprah. And I just believed. I believe that if someone's going to help make my dream come true and have a little change, you know, in my life, because I knew what I was doing, I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy for so many reasons. So I think me writing letters and then emailing when emails came out, and then going to Oprah.com. And I remember the phone number, calling to be in the audience. It was 591-9222. I just remember going up to my dad's room. So I just was very motivated because I believed in myself. Even when other people maybe didn't believe in me, I believed in myself. I knew that I had some kind of special gift. I knew that this is going to happen. And it did. It literally did. I remember sitting in the Oprah show like a couple weeks before, and Jennifer Lopez was there with Richard Gere. And I remember telling my friend who was sitting next to me, I said, one day I'm going to come through those wood Oprah doors. One day I'm going to be a guest in her show. And then a month later, I walked through that door to be on the Oprah Winfrey show. Like, it's just so confidence. Have a lot of confidence and believe in yourself.
Paolo, I now realize even the more why I could really identify with you. Our lives were so similar, and I got to tell you, you are my hero. You are really one of my heroes, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I think that when you were talking about believing in yourself when nobody else believed, trust me. When I told my daddy I wanted to do television, he said, boy, you better go back to Morehouse and get a degree and get a real job. And I was like, no, Dad, I'm going to. And it was him coming to a RICC ROLLINS show. And we had another talk show host on. And he said to me that was the day he believed I could, because somebody that was doing this came to a little public access station with our little makeshift set. Well, no, we'd gotten the good set, because I was like, if Oprah has a good set, I'm going to have a good set. And we found somebody to sponsor it, and they did. And that was the day he believed. And from there, anytime I was on television, we didn't have cable. Okay, when we didn't have cable, he would go to my aunt's house so he could watch me, because we went live every day for a week. And so to have people who believe in you is amazing. So when we come back, I want to talk about the people that believed in you and how you knew that you could do this for as long as you wanted to, right after this. Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. Let me tell you, I'm having one of my wildest dreams come true. I'm getting to talk to one of my heroes. He is an award-winning talk show host. He is probably one of Oprah's favorite people, even though she has a favorite thing list, but she showed him it was possible too. Paolo Presta is with us today. Thank you for being here, Paolo. As I said it off camera, I don't know if you heard me, but man, I love you. I love you in ways that you probably will never understand, because you mean it's possible. I mean, you are the poster child for possible. We look it up in the dictionary. possible. It says synonymous with Paolo. So I want to talk to you about that. So you do the Oprah Winfrey Show. You start doing stuff behind the scenes with the talk and other shows. When do you say it's my time to come back before the camera and do this?
I think when I was working on that talk for the first season, when they came on air on CBS, and I worked very closely with all 5 hosts, I just like so many things were rushing in my brain, saying, "This is it." Like I grew up in Chicago, going to the Oprah Winfrey Show, and there was something about sitting in the audience and just watching Oprah and her team build this show and create this show. And being on the talk, I just love the behind the scenes. And look, I didn't have the best job, like being like a second assistant to the ladies. I mean, you clean the dressing room, you get their food, it's just not the best. But I just love being there and seeing how this show came to life. And one day I came home from working on the talk. My husband was watching TV, and I said to him, like, I don't want to wait for the phone to ring. Like, I know that we can do this.
Yes.
So will you help me? Will you help me create this show? And he came up with the title, the logo, and I said, I know we got something. I didn't know what we were going to do, who was going to be on the show, like, you know, but I knew that I'm like, I could do this. Like, I know I could do this if you help me.
You know what the something was? What you had was you, because you believed you could. And it's good, it's great to have a husband that believes in you. Got a chance to meet him before we started. But you know what I thought about? There's a scripture that says, faithful over little, ruler over much. You were the assistant to these ladies, and hopefully they treated you well. If not, it'll be in the memoir. but you were faithful to that. And then it provoked, you know, sometimes God has to put us in uncomfortable places because it's easy for us to get comfortable, to get complacent. And what I heard you say, and I was sitting here and I was off camera, but I was like, yes, yes, yes. When you decide I can do this, and you did it, and you're doing it. So when you started doing this, how did you decide, I'm not going for the person down the street, I'm going for the stars, the celebrities, I'm going for the people that make a difference to me, kind of like I did with you.
You're so nice. I'm really enjoying this, by the way, because I can feel your passion, your love. It just makes me so happy to see you living your dream. And so it's an honor to be on your show.
Thank you.
I don't know, like, I just knew that if I'm like, okay, look, if Oprah Winfrey can get celebrities and The Talk can get celebrities and Ellen DeGeneres and, you know, Live with Kelly and Ryan, all these shows, if they can do it, why can't I do it? And I don't know what came over me. And every time we book a celebrity, even my husband's like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. But when we got Florence Henderson, Sharon Osbourne, and Leah Remini, like the first couple episodes, it just kept me motivated. And, you know, and I think with Florence Henderson, it was a big thing for me because, you know, like I met her one time in the talk, and I saw her doing an interview with Gayle King on the Oprah Winfrey Network, and Florence Henderson gave out her email address saying that I write back to all my fans, you know, and I said, okay, so I'm gonna
what have I
email
got
her.
to lose? That's right.
What I got to lose. And I'm gonna say, Florence Henderson, I have no show. Like, we had no episodes. We did tape Sharon Osbourne, but I had nothing to show her because everything was in pre-production. But we were at Target in West Hollywood, and Florence Henderson had emailed me back in the evening saying, I would love to be a guest on your show. Let me know where and when.
Wow.
And when she said that, I just was like, I went to go look for my husband. I'm like screaming, like, oh my God, she said yes. So I think that one moment of someone who didn't really know me from meeting me very quickly when she was a guest on The Talk inspired me to keep going and get these other guests, because I know that they all have a story, and I just wanted to like share their story, their dream story of how they got to where they are today. And so having Florence Henderson, you know, Sharon Osbourne, Leah Remini, those first couple episodes, I'm like, we're going to keep doing this. And honestly, it still amazes me anytime they say yes to being a guest on our show.
I understand, because look, when you said yes, it was just as good as Oprah saying yes and anybody else saying yes, because again, you're somebody that I look up to. You're somebody that mattered to me and my mother. And so when you said, I was like, oh my God, This is what I've been waiting on because I'm one of those people. I write everybody. Gladys Knight was coming to town. I wrote her. We didn't get the interview, but I know we will because I just know we will. But I'm with you on that, and so it's one of those things that when it happens, and it's up to you to keep it going. And we're going to keep going with Paolo right after this. We're going to find out his favorite interviews, and maybe not some of his favorite. We're going to dish the dish with Paolo as he gives us a spoonful right after this.
RHS TV, delivering stories of change, hope, and positivity. RHS TV, connecting Tampa Bay.
Welcome back to Goin Places with RICC Rollins. I, as I said, have been in heaven, talk show heaven, for the past half hour because I have Paolo with me today. Paolo Presta is the person that proved to me anything was possible. And I'm so glad you're with us today. So, Paolo, I want to talk about this in the last, I think we have 5 minutes or so left. I want to talk about your favorite interview. Let's talk about that.
Honestly, this is our 13th season. We've been doing this for such a long time, and there's so many wonderful guests. And of course, Oprah Winfrey was a full circle moment. Carol Burnett, we just had Julie Andrews. But I think one now that really is really close to my heart is coming to Florida and interviewing Gloria Estefan. And I think the way that all happened organically, and it was just like a dream. And because she lost her mom, it's been like 6 years now, and I lost my mom. We had a special connection, and I think that conversation for me, I think about it all the time. So I would have to say maybe that's one of my favorites. Even though I have so many, it's like having so many kids and they're all your favorite. Okay, well maybe Gloria stands up a little bit more than the other ones. I don't know, but yeah.
And that interview was wonderful. I have not slept because I've been watching. And I went back through and wanted to figure out and where I wanted to go and stuff like this. I loved your interview with Sunny Halston. That's the newest one that's up, right?
Yes.
I love Sunny. She's one of my favorites. Next to Whoopi, she's one of my favorites. And so I listened and leaned in on that one. For the person who doesn't know yet that it's possible, what would you say to them?
That it's always possible.
I love it.
If you believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, because I can have my husband believe in me and families, my father, but if you don't believe in yourself and do the work, you won't get there. So just believe in yourself, do the work, and that it will be possible. And
you're proof of that. I told you. That's why you're one of my heroes. I mean that. And the fact that you are so open and honest with your life. I walk in a place where it says, and ye shall know the truth, and it shall set you free. And my mother was like, baby, be you. Anybody that doesn't like it, that's between them and God. But I love you. Your daddy loves you. My daddy didn't always understand me, but he was getting there. But then he became an angel long before Mama did. And so I would agree with you. Today, 197 episodes later, 13 years later, do you still pinch yourself?
Yes, honestly, I do. When you're living your dream and it's just my husband and I, and when they say yes, that the guests want to be in our show. Like when Sunny Hostin, when we interviewed her, she's like, I've been watching you. You have like our web show, you've been watching it, you know who I am. And I always pinch myself. And anytime they say yes, I'm always like, thank you, God. Thank you, Mom. We're so grateful. Yeah. And it's a joy. It's a joy to be living your dream and not knowing when you wake up what's going to come your way. Because I love the surprise, that feeling inside of, oh my God, we're going to interview so-and-so. Like, it's just mind blowing.
That's wonderful. Let me ask you this. And I was going to save this to later, but what's next for you?
That's a good question. I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot lately about maybe writing like a book, a memoir in my life, just about the struggles, the Oprah making the dream come true. It's going to be 20 years next year since she walked into my dad's grocery store. 20 years is crazy, but it feels like it all happened yesterday. So I think at some point I just want to write a little book to inspire people to believe in themselves, to know that you can do it if you do the work. And so I think that's what's next. I love where we are right now. I love having this show with just my husband and I, because we get to do things that nobody can, like to have this experience and go into their homes, their dressing room. It's just mind blowing. It's just something that we're like, wow, this just happened. Like Olivia Newton-John was in our home. Like just moments like that,
Wow.
we just will never forget, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about what's next. Who's next? Can we get a scoop here? Or can we get a spoonful of the scoop?
Well, we might. I think they said yes, we're working on dates, but I think our next guest, you know, is going to be Deborah Cox, who's performing in The Wiz. It's on tour, and then it's going to Broadway
Yes.
in April of 2024. So she'll be here in Chicago. As of now, they said in our home studio. So if that happens, which seems like it will, we are just,
Wow.
that's a pinch me, like Deborah Cox in our home. Like, I can't believe it. Like, yeah.
Fingers crossed, my friend. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
This is what's so funny is that she popped up on my Instagram, and I was like, I need to interview Deborah Cox. Maybe she'll do it, because some of these other people, you know, but
Yes.
I'm just really pleased with what we're doing. Paula, I got to tell you, how much time y'all say I had left? What'd you say it was, Ryan? 30 seconds. I got 30 seconds. Wait a minute. Where did it go? Okay, so Paolo, let me ask you this. This is the last thing. If Oprah said tomorrow, I want to give you your own show on OWN, would you do it, or would you keep it? Would you keep it this way? Because you say you like it this way, but what would you say?
Look, if it's the one who made my dream come true and she's offering something that's just continue of A Spoonful of Paolo somehow with my husband, I would not close the door. It would, depending on what it is, I would say yes, as long as the package is the same, including my husband and I would say yes to her.
Well, we're going to believe that yes is going to come sooner or later. You've talked about your husband for so long. Either send me a picture so that people can see him, because he has a smile that I know why you smile every day. I want to thank you for being with us. I appreciate you so much. And you know what, Paolo? Again, you are amazing. Never forget that, and continue to do the amazingly amazing things that you do. And as always, I can't even talk, I'm so nervous. What I want to say to you is, as we say to our guests at the end of every show, be blessed on this journey and continue to do what you do the way that only you can. Thank you for spending this time with me today.
Thank you. And I know both of our moms are watching. So
I believe
you said
that.
earlier, our moms are watching. And I never met your mom, but I love her. I can just feel her right through you. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's the greatest compliment. Wow, that was one of the fastest half hours that I've ever done. Paolo, I want to thank you for being such an amazing guest. I really do want to believe that our moms are watching together. And hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Be blessed on your journey. We'll see you next time.